When I left the theater after watching James White, I needed at least 5 minutes to regroup because it affected me and I felt that I was not alone. There were definitely people that I could kind of just feel that they needed some time, and there's been just a handful of movies that have done that to me, maybe 21 Grams, Invisible War. For the two of you personally, what movies, as a patron, as a viewer, have had the same effect?
That's a hard question. Can you think of it? Can you?
That's an on-the-spot question.
That's a really on-the-spot question. God, I feel like, you know, one of the things is the way a movie hits you, or a play or whatever hits you while it's happening, and when it's over, that you're kind of unable to move forward right away. But to me, an equally important, or maybe even more important measure is how long a film lives with you afterwards. So, you know, I saw it on television. I can't even imagine if I'd seen it in a movie theater, but I finally saw Clockwork Orange this year, you know, and I have to say, that's a very, you know, I know everyone's seen it now and it's old news, but to me, who had never seen it before, it's so shocking and it's so frightening. And it just, you know, it still lives inside my head as a just a terrifying futuristic nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I can think of, it's kind of stayed with me for a long time, is The Turin Horse, the Bellatar film, his last film. I remember seeing that at New York Film Festival a couple years ago in the theater, and yeah, it was like almost like I'm not religious, but it was almost like a holy, weird experience that movie has.
And you know, actually, the Julianne Moore film, Still Alice, that really, that kind of blew me away and frightened me, and I felt, I don't know, it really frightened me and moved me.
What made you feel that you could both play these characters when you read the script?
One thing for me, being friends with Josh, you know, and I'd known Josh for years before, and it's not completely autobiographical, but it is a personal story. So, you know, to do it right. I mean, not just as an actor, but as his friend. You know, I kind of felt a certain responsibility.
Yeah, I think knowing that Josh was there made it, and I thought there was a lot that I recognized in this woman. Do you know what I mean? I had lost my own mother to cancer the same year that we shot the film, so that I had that. But also, I don't know. There were just, you know, often when we see mothers in movies, they're sort of perfect. They're often very two-dimensional, and I feel like I could relate to all the parts of this mother. Do you know what I mean? The like intense mother love and you know, desire to have her child, you know, succeed in every way possible, but also, you know, all the parts of, you know, motherhood, like being controlling, not knowing how controlling would be okay, or, you know, not you know, taking off your boxing gloves when you're dealing with your kid, particularly your grown kid, and telling them really what you think, not pulling your punches.
I was listening to an interview with Sir Michael Caine, and he said that an actor's greatest asset, first thing, is the eyes. Second is the voice.
Mm-hmm.
For the two of you in the film, because there were a lot of moments where there was just things that were unspoken, how do you use your eyes first to convey emotion? Especially in the opening scene where you're in the bar and we're not really hearing that much dialogue, but we're feeling that something's not right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a weird thing. It's something that you try not to be conscious of. You know, I try not to be conscious too much of my body movements. You know, it's kind of maybe something that just, you hope just happens naturally. And you know, if you're focused on the important task at hand,
yeah,
right? Well,
right.
If you're focused on the result, that's the bad thing. If you're focused at the real task at hand, then that's the good thing. And so, and if you're trying your hardest to believe in this fake scenario, which is what it is, then hopefully, if you trick your mind well enough, hopefully that comes across, and your body will follow. Yeah.
I also think that certainly we convey emotion through our eyes in every way, including crying. But I think maybe more important even is I think we convey intelligence through our eyes. Do you know what I mean? When I watch someone understand something, I see it a little bit in their body language, but I mostly see it in their eyes. Or when I see someone worried about something or trying to figure something out, like the eyes are where you see the most reaction. Do you know? So I one of the most important things I think on film that's very different from on stage is, as human beings, we're thinking all the time. We're calculating and we're, maneuvering and planning. And I think that we see that somewhat in our body language, but mostly in our eyes. We see the other person think. And so when you see an actor really thinking on screen, you believe they're a real person.
Excellent. Sorry, I could go another hour. Thank you both.